Hi guys, welcome back for episode number 7, no, not 7, 11, 11 of the weekly playback. I don't know why I said 7, it's 11. So there are not too many games to discuss because I actually didn't play a lot of games this past week, but I think that's a good thing because it gave me more time to actually work on my own board games. So I only have 4 games to discuss this week. The first one is Funfair. So Funfair is designed by Joel Finch and art by Mr. Cuddington, and it's published by Good Games Publishing. It's a publisher based out of Australia, I believe, for 2 to 4 players, and this is a hand management type game. So in this game, you are trying to make an amusement park. So you will have this one board, and it's, you know what the cool thing about this board is, depending on how the players sit, you can use one side or the other. So if the players kind of sit opposite each other, then you will use this side because then some of the cards will be right way for you and then the other cards will be right way for the other player. But if you sit next to each other, which for a 4-player game, I don't know how you would do that, but then you can use this side of the board. I think that is that's just very nifty. So anyway, so on this board, you are going to have the cards which you will be drafting or taking, not drafting, on your turn. And there's going to be city and blueprint cards. So you'll have a market and an award. So for the entire game, there will be one award, which is like an objective that you all are trying to meet. And there's a blueprint deck, which is one of your actions. You can take a card from it, which will give you a secret objective. But if you don't meet that objective, you will lose points at the end. So this is an example of a blueprint card. And then there are, let's see, oh, there's, so you have city cards. What are the city cards? Oh, it's city cards, right. Those are the events, duh. Okay, so each round there's an event that affects everyone and you will get to all do that. So there's gonna be a pile of city cards and that will actually time the game as well. So that determines basically how many rounds there are. So everyone starts with a main gate in their park, and then you will be drafting different types, not drafting, taking on your turn different types of cards. You start with some cards in hand, and you're basically just trying to construct an amusement park and get the most points, like set collection points and stuff like that. There are different types of symbols that you can try to get in a ride, and you can like have a base ride, which will be your attraction, for example, this thrill ride, and then you can upgrade it. So you will be adding different kinds of upgrades, such as themes, like this pirate theme. So you would pay the cost and then upgrade it. And there can be some chaining that happens because once you upgrade it, like some of these will give you a special ability that you can then do, and then you can end up chaining that way and end up like adding a couple of cards in one go. You might be able to pick up some new cards or get some money. So, you know, that can happen, which is pretty cool. There's 4 different kinds of themes in this game. There's jungle theme, fairy tale theme, robot theme, and what was the other one? Pirate theme. So the weird thing about this game is that you cannot have more than one of the same theme in an attraction. So for example, if your thrill ride is pirate themed, you cannot add another pirate theme card to that thrill ride, but you can add another theme card to that ride. So this to me made no sense, like realistically. Like I'm like, when you go to an amusement park, you're not gonna go on a ride that has like 5 different themes in it, but in this game you want to have different themes in the same ride. You can't have the same card type in the same ride. Unless we understood that wrong, but that's how we played it, and I thought it was very strange. So yeah, but yeah, it's a cool game. I actually did not pick up any blueprint cards, and I actually talked, well, on Instagram, the publisher commented on my post because I mentioned that I won, and he asked me how many blueprint cards I completed, and I said 0. And he said it's pretty rare for someone to win without completing any blueprint cards. I think the reason I won was because my opponent, who did pick up a blueprint card, really needed a theater card. And I had 2 theaters in my park, and I had previously discarded one that I had managed to get, so he got screwed over. So he ended up losing points because of that. So, but apparently it's rare to win if you don't pick up a blueprint card. So yeah, so this was a fun little nifty game. I don't know why I'm using the word nifty today. Okay, so the other thing that we didn't like about the game was that the market clears after each round. So if there's cards there that you wanted, too bad, they're gone. So that was something that neither my opponent nor I were too happy about, but in one way I guess it's good, because it does, you know, sometimes you do want the market to clear out. So I don't know, yeah, so but yeah, overall it was a good set collection hand management kind of game. You know, the theme is okay. I'm not a huge, you know, the artwork is cute for this. Like, I've played other theme park games and I've not been super impressed with them. Like, I didn't like the artwork in those games, but the artwork in this game is actually better, so I do like it. So if I did want to play a board game about theme parks, I would probably pick up Funfair. I'm hoping to play Unfair next. So I have Unfair as well, which is like the more cutthroat version, which actually came out first before Funfair, I believe. But yeah, this plays really quickly. It's like it says 15 minutes per player, and yeah, it played in about that much time. Like, once we got set up and knew the rules, it was a pretty quick game at 2 players for sure. So yeah, so if you're looking for a fun little hand management game, and if you like theme parks, then maybe check out Funfair. All right, the next game I will talk about, I don't have in my possession, but I will definitely throw up some pictures I took because I thought it was beautiful, is Francis Drake, which was a 2013 game, and that was by Eagle Games, which is now, of course, Eagle Griffin Games, designed by Peter Hawes for 3 to 5 players, and I believe there's an expansion which allows for a purple player, so, but we didn't use the purple pieces. But anyway, this is a really great game. So you have like this track up above, which is one way. So like you will take turns placing your little token on that track to take some kind of a resource or action. So you might be able to get some like gunpowder that you need. You might be able to get some crew members. You can get, what else was there? Barrels. Barrels will allow you to explore further out in the sea because you'll have more, well, ships didn't use oil, did they? Oh, I guess they did, if they're like, I don't know much about ships, but you need barrels to explore further out in the sea. So there's different things you need, and there's different kinds of character types you can pick up if you get there first. So, you know, each space has a certain number of circles beneath it. So if you know, if all those spaces are taken up, you can't go on that space anymore. And so, you know, it's kind of like a little bit tricky in trying to determine what you should go for that round in terms of which resources to collect or which special ability to maybe get, like the Admiral or the Governor, which may allow you to peek at some tiles when you're actually out exploring with your ships. You also want to upgrade your ship so you can fight in naval battles if you've upgraded your ship, but if you have the frigate, which is the small ship, you cannot fight in those big battles. So yeah, so there's like a few different paths to victory. There's also set collection in this game. So after you've gone up in that area on that one-way street, placing all of your tokens till you get to the end, and then whoever reaches the end first is the first player who will go out into the sea. It's such a cool game because there's also like bluffing involved, and there's like hidden, what do you call it, secret deployment involved, where you will put down tokens numbered 1 through 4, and if you picked up a certain special token, one that will even trump number 1. So you're going to be taking in turn order based on who got to the end first. You're going to take turns placing down your tokens secretly in the various locations that you now want to take your actions in. So you might want to go training and pick up some items, which will give you major set collection points if you get all 4. There's 4 different items you need to get 26 points. I don't remember what the point number below that was. I think it was 16 if you have 3 items. There are battles you can fight, like the ships you can fight, and there's going to be these tokens that you flip over, which will tell you how much ammo you need to win in that battle and how many, you know, it'll indicate that. So you have to have that much gunpowder in your ship in order to win that battle, and then it'll tell you, you know, points, how many points you get. So there's a big token in those sections, and then the small tokens, which the admiral gets to peek at. If they, you know, if you were the person who picked up the admiral token, then you will get to peek at the small ones and actually place them down. So you will basically have knowledge of which ships you might be able to fight and hopefully get some big points if you have enough gunpowder. I mean, it's such a cool game. And there was like these forts that you could fight at, and you know, if you were the governor, you could peek at how many crew members you need to go to the various forts, and also put those down in the order that you would like. So the board was split up into 4 different sections. So depending on how many barrels of oil you got, that would determine which section you could take all of your actions in and place your discs in secretly. And then you resolve the discs, you reveal them all, and you get to then take the actions in the turn order based on the numbers that you put down. So 1 would be the highest, and if there's a tie, then the person who's first in turn order would get to take their action first. You know, someone could potentially be blocked out of actually taking action if there weren't enough spots available. So yeah, really cool game. I was doing so well in the first round. I did really well. There's also, so you also get to advance on this little track kind of thing. So for each kind of action you take, you get to move your cube down, and then depending on how many different kinds of actions you took that year, you get a certain number of points. So if you did all 3 different types of actions, like trading, fighting in a naval battle, and fighting in a fortress battle or whatever, then you get to push 3 cubes down and get 16 points, I believe it was. Or maybe not 16, maybe it was a lesser 10 points. It was 10 points. So yeah, so you know, you want to try and do everything, but there's only 3 rounds. There's only 3 years. So if you want 4 items for set collection and trading, you need to have gathered enough purple cubes to have traded twice in 1 year. There's only 3 rounds in this game. So I was doing really well in the beginning, and then I got completely screwed over because I didn't get a purple cube, which allows you to trade in the last round. So if I had just gotten that purple cube, I think I could have done really well. I actually ended up coming in 3rd place. I think I could have come in 2nd or even 1st place if I had gotten that purple cube. So that messed me up. But oh my god, it was such a fun game. I love the fact that, you know, there's like this kind of bluffing aspect in it. There's like this, you know, hidden deployment in it, and you know, you're competing for spots to gather resources. It's just a super fun game and just so beautiful. So, you know, I'm definitely throwing up pictures of that for you guys to see. And yeah, I know it's an older game, but I'd never played it before, and I'm so glad I got to play it because it was so much fun. There's even like one spot where you can go to on the street that will allow you to do a little bit of push your luck, where you can roll some dice and see what reward you get. So yeah, so it's a pretty cool game. So yeah, definitely check out Francis Drake if you haven't. And for a 2013 game, it's like really great production quality. Like now we know Eagle Gryphon Games produces really amazing games. Like they published the Vital Lacerda games, or like Rococo Deluxe, which is absolutely stunning. But for 2013, like this was a really nicely produced game. Like the ships were really nice. I really like them. All right, the next game I will discuss is Royal Visit. Oh no, my heat has just come on. Hopefully that will not be too annoying. I don't know why it's come on. Maybe it's a bit chilly in here. Sorry if you hear that in the background. Okay, so because I have the forced air that blows down. So I've played this before. I've shown it to you guys before actually. So perfect timing for the heat, I guess, anyway. Oh, I think I had it upside down. Royal Visit. So this is published by Yellow Games. I think I've told you guys it's Yellow, not ILO. So yeah, so this is just like a tug of war game. I really like it. It's, you know, got this really beautiful mat, and I've described it before, so I'm not going to describe it again. I just wanted to show you guys these beautiful pieces again because I really like them, and it kind of matches my sweater dress today, so that's why I just wanted to pull out this piece to show you guys and match. It's like, look, I match with this card kind of today. So yeah, so this is the king card. So yeah, so this is a really fun tug of war game. funnily enough, the last time I talked about this game, you know, I'm not going to take all the credit for it because maybe someone discussed it on a podcast or something too that I don't know about. But like the last time I talked about this game in my video, then it appeared on the hot list of BGG. And this is an old game. It's from 2006. So it's like, wow, how did this game appear on the BGG hot list when it's from 2006? And it happened to be right after I talked about it in my video. So maybe I will take a little bit of credit for that. I don't know. So yeah, so this is a fun tug of war hand management game for 2 players. If you haven't checked it out, I do recommend it. It's fun. You know, there's a bit of luck in it based on which cards you get and stuff like that. But a little bit of strategy. If you can manage to save your cards for the right time and take your moves at the right time, you know, you can really end up winning based on how you manage your cards. So yeah, it's a really great 2-player game. And finally, the last game I will talk about is the Red Cathedral, which I know is the 4th time I'm talking about this game, but I will talk about it one more time, which will probably be the last time in a very long time because I don't think I'm going to play this game again for a very long time because I've played it 4 times in like the last couple of weeks. So this was my 4th time playing this game, and this time I played it at the 4-player count, which is the maximum player count because it is for 1 to 4 players. Again, published by DeVere Games. At 4 players, I thought it was good. So I was teaching 2 people who had not played the game before. So, you know, I wouldn't say that they were slow to catch on, but of course, you know, that slowed down the game a little bit. But at 4 players, it did run longer than I would have liked it to. Like, it basically took up like 2 hours of time, including, you know, setup and teaching and everything. So for the weight of the game that it is, I think 2 hours is a bit long for a 4-player game, but I still enjoyed it. You know, there's more competition at 4 players. You know, you have more sections of the cathedral that you're trying to claim. I still loved it just as much. It just ran a little bit longer than I would have liked. So the only player count I haven't played the Red Cathedral at now is solo. So, but I'm kind of a little bit tired of it now, so I do need a little bit of a break from the Red Cathedral, so I won't be playing it solo anytime soon. Okay, so those are the only games I played this past week. So let me move on to games that I am backing. So the campaign for the dog park game ended. So currently, the only games, so before I get into the games that I'm currently backing, one of the games that I was backing has canceled its Kickstarter. Several people mentioned it to me. It was called The City of the Great Machine, like a steampunk one versus many type game, which looked amazing. But they canceled their Kickstarter a day after launching it because many people complained about the cost of the game, and apparently how the deluxe level included all the stretch goals, but you hadn't yet hit the stretch goals or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it caused a little bit of controversy, so they ended up canceling their Kickstarter, and they will relaunch in a couple of weeks, I think, so I will be on the lookout for that. So currently the only games I'm backing are still the ones as before: Quests and Canon, Scandalo, and Solar Sphere. So, you know, I've talked about those in detail before, so I'm not gonna talk about them much now. Games I'm culling, no new games to add to this section since I didn't play too much, so we are going to go into questions. There's only a couple of questions. So the first one is, do you think you'll get to any cons in the next year? Yes, well, if by next year you mean 2022, I hope so, but in 2021, I am hoping to go to PAX Unplugged. I did not go to Gen Con because my best friend got married that weekend, and I'm not at Origins this weekend, as you can see by me, you know, being here. Oh, my cat wants to join us today. Oh, this is the first time that Dobby is joining us on camera. You want to say hi, Dobby? Here, turn around. Turn around, come here, say hi. You can sit down here. Yeah. Here, say hi. Okay, good boy. Yeah, want to say hi? Yeah, okay. So I hope that PAX Unplugged will happen. They still haven't even released tickets yet. So hopefully it'll happen. But if it happens, I'm definitely going to be there. I already booked my Airbnb, in fact. So that is a convention that I absolutely love, and I've attended it twice. The last 2 times it happened, and I cannot wait for the next one. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm not at Origins this weekend because I don't know why. I'm just not. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. I think, oh, I know why I'm not going, because just money, finances, because I'm actually going to Florida later this month to visit my sister. So, and also, you know, I have some videos I'll be needing to make in October. So, I actually have to make some videos this weekend. So, yeah, so I'm not at Origins, but ideally I would love to go to Essen next year. Not this year, obviously, but next year I definitely want to go to Essen. And I hope I'll have a prototype of my game to show them. That would be amazing. So that was the first question. The second question is, are you planning to also do the art for your game? I have no artistic ability. If you mean if I'm planning on hiring an artist myself, definitely yes. So there's 2 games I'm currently working on. I'm working on my elephant worker placement game. Oh wow, Dobby's really getting in the camera for you guys. Yeah, so I'm working on my worker placement game. My elephant worker placement game, and I'm working on a secret project, which I'm not going to talk about too much. It's a deck building game, and I'm super excited about it. That's the one I'm hoping to self-publish, and so I have a very specific artistic vision in mind for that game, so I want to book artists myself for that game. You know, last time I did a video, I asked you guys what instills faith in you guys that a Kickstarter will be successful, that you are willing to back it, and everyone said, you know, the Kickstarter page should look polished, like you should have assets on the page that, you know, are professional looking, that are polished looking, and I agree. You know, and someone said you should definitely, you know, have done your research, have strong attention to detail. You know, I do pride myself on having a very strong attention to detail. It's some kind of important for my job too. So, you know, I do feel like I am fully competent to be able to run my own Kickstarter. And the reason I would want to do that for this game is because, again, I have a very specific vision in mind for it, and I would want to achieve that vision, that artistic vision that I have in mind. And I think it would just be so cool to have a game that you know you did from start to finish. That being said, I do know I will need some help in maybe funding the game's artwork. So I'm thinking of actually finally maybe starting up a Patreon or Ko-fi. I know Ko-fi has now started a thing similar to Patreon where people can you know, subscribe and give monthly support, and I would have different levels. And at one of the levels, I would say that, you know, if you you know, support me at this level, then you will get an acknowledgement in my game once it is published, and I'm hoping I can use that money towards funding artwork for my game. So you know, I have some ideas in mind. One of the pledge levels I hope to have is going to be a high tier pledge level where I will, you know, play a game with someone over video chat. Like, it would be a game that we both have in our possession, like Dice Throne. You know, I've played so many games over video chat, like physical games, not on Board Game Arena, but maybe I'll have a pledge level for that too. So, you know, both people would have to have the game, and you would set up the game. And, you know, a lot of games are, you know, I've done a video about this too, like what games can you play over video chat. So I'm thinking of having a pledge level to do that as well, to try to raise funds to actually pay an artist that I have in mind for my game. So yeah, so I'm super excited about that. And just speaking of that, actually, let me touch just, you know, if there's anyone who wants to design their own game, I recently joined a group on Facebook, which is hugely helpful because I was making all of the cards by hand and it was taking me forever. And so I was like, there's got to be an easier way to make cards, just print them, you know, because then when you need to make minor changes on the cards, I want an easier way to do that. So someone suggested, you know, I tweeted out that I need suggestions on how to do that. So people wrote back with this program called Multideck, which is for Mac users because both of my computers are Mac. And then I opened up Multideck and I had no clue what I was doing. So then I went and joined this group that someone suggested. It's called Martin's P&P Hideaway. It's on Facebook. So if you are an aspiring designer and you want to learn also how to like kind of make those cards or, you know, create games at home, I highly recommend this group. He created some amazing tutorials. So yeah, it's called Martin's Print and Play Hideaway. It's a private group, but I highly recommend you join because again, there are some amazing posts in there that you can learn so much from. He made a video for me that you know, because I was asking for something super basic because I'm pretty technologically inept and I had no clue how to make images appear in multi-deck. So he made a video that explains basically I have to create a spreadsheet and link things in that spreadsheet to the actual items that I want to appear on my card, and then I have to create a CSV file and then transport that into multi-deck, and then that'll create the sheet that I'm actually going to end up printing out. Like, it's a process. So I'm gonna sit down and dedicate a few hours to going through that process until I've nailed it down and I can do it without having the video running in the background telling me how to do everything. So yeah, so I'm super excited to work on both of my games. I've had my second meeting with my mentor who's mentoring me on my elephant game, so that was very helpful. And I'm so grateful to my mentor for working with me on my elephant game. Okay, the last question is, on a different topic, do you have any autumn or Halloween traditions you do every year? So yes, today I'm filming this on October 1st, which is like the best month of the year because I feel like it officially starts really feeling like autumn. You know, the leaves have already started changing last month. There's so many crunchy leaves to step on outside. You know, you really get that pumpkin-y feeling this time of the year. I love it. I love Halloween. I'm obsessed with Halloween. I have a lot of Halloween decor, which, you know, you can't see because I have my board games behind me. But yeah, so I decorate my apartment for Halloween. I put up Halloween lights. I put up all my Halloween decorations. I already have out my Halloween throw on my couch. Yeah, and you know, in the previous years since I've lived in this apartment, I've had a Halloween party every year with my friends where we would play like One Night Ultimate Werewolf or some other Halloween themed game. But last year, because of COVID, we actually had a smaller Halloween get together. So last year it was a couple of us, and if I remember correctly, we played Moonrakers and Quacks of Quedlinburg, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But this year on Halloween, I'm actually going to be in Florida. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm actually going to attend the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. So again, super excited about that. So yeah, so no Halloween party. If I do a Halloween party, it'll have to be like a week before Halloween or a couple of days after Halloween. So yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love autumn. Any other autumn traditions? Not really. I mean, Thanksgiving, you know, my family and I have a dinner on Thanksgiving, a nice big dinner. But yeah, no other autumn traditions. I like to have candles that smell like, you know, pumpkins and stuff like that. Like, I love food smelling candles. So anytime I burn a candle at home, it has to be food smelling so that my apartment smells like a cookie or a cake or something. So yeah, so that's basically it. So yeah, so those were all the questions for this week. And I know that's a bit weird. I haven't actually uploaded a 1-minute overview video this past week, so you'll see 2 weekly playback videos back to back, but I do have some more coming up for October, which I'm really excited about. Some of the games I'm excited about covering are Senjutsu, Birdwatcher. What else am I covering this coming month, which I am super excited about? Let's see. There's a game I'm going to be covering, which is designed by a high schooler, which looks really cool. It's called Crisis on Cardia. I think that's a game that people should watch out for, especially because they're going to be making donations for each game that is backed. They'll be donating money or a copy or something like that to the public education system in New York City or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm sure that their campaign page will specify that. So when I post the video, of course, I'm going to link to the campaign page so you can find out more about that. Yeah, and there's a couple of other games coming up as well. So that's it for now. So until next time, guys, bye.